Hi and welcome. I'm John and this is Unique War Gaming Terrain. Guys, welcome back. This is another Let's Build video. For all those that are new, what are these videos? Let's Build videos, basically in a nutshell, I take a kit and I show you how to put it together. If there's any points of concern on the parts or the kit, I'll let you know. If there's like really horrible mold lines, I'll let you know. I give you a difficulty rating out of 10. So far the hardest kit to put together has been the flayed ones, Necron flayed ones. Anyone that has dyslexia and problem with reading instructions and anything like that, this is a visual aid and helps them. Okay, so for all my regulars here, guys, I feel love, thank you very much. I'll see you in a second. Right, so what am I going to build on this video? I've got the Promos chaplain on a bike here. I was going to go for him, but the problem is I did a Space Marine, the last Let's Build, and I always want to try and mix them up a little bit. So, and that was the Space Marine from the Indominus box. So from the pile of shame now, I'm going to go for this bad boy. Yeah. That's his name. It's I've opened the box already and look at the kit, and it's absolutely very intimidating kit, but it's an amazing model. So I'm going to open this up and get this out, and we'll have a look at it then. Right, so that's the base. Don't need that for the minute. That's the instructions manual. So that's the full colour. There's got his stats at the back there as well. So if you don't have the codex, that's one to keep, because it's got, it's not just in English, it's in all different languages as well. There's Spanish, French, Dutch, Italian. Right, but as always, we look at the kit. Well, first thing we need, what tools do we need? Clippers, scraper. I have a sanding sponge, which I've got a feeling I might need on here. It's a plastic kit, so plastic glue. Let's have a look at what we've got. There is a lot of detail on here. I mean, you look at all this. It is absolutely, you can identify this as weapon, yeah. Now, my friend Andy from Mediocre Hobbies told me to be careful of this piece here, because it's very thin and very weak, and it will snap off if you're not too careful. There's hands, there's arms, there's the energy transference of the dead, whatever that is, Space Marine, or is that I have no idea what that is, but anyway. And you look at this, well, I looked at this first of all yesterday, and I was like, where do I start with this? But it's looking at the few pieces that have taken off together, first of all, to put together, and then you start adding more and more and more. It is pretty straightforward, as most kits are, but it's just very intimidating to look at, first of all. So the first piece that I need is going to be 1, 2, and 3. And there's number 1. Yeah, that's number 1. There's number 2. There's number 3. Okay, so as always, GW put the pieces right next to each other. Okay, so I'm going to clip these 3 pieces out. Now looking at this already, I think I need that piece. Yeah, I need that piece. So this piece has to stay on, so I have to clip it here. Okay, so I'm going to clip these out, give them a clean down, and come back to you. Right, I dropped this piece 3 times already. Just sitting there trying to dry fit everything, figure out how it goes in. And actually, where are we? There is a little square there, see it? And there is a little connection on this one somewhere there. Square. So that just slots into there. Okay, and that gives you your little, so I'm going to glue that together now. I was sitting there trying to figure out how the hell it goes together on it, and it's only because these bits have little balls on it. I was like, what the hell's, and but that's where the legs go into. So anyway, I'm going to glue this bit together and I'll come back to you. Right, now that I've put that together, okay, it's still wet, but in the middle there's a little groove where they come together, yeah? And on the back of this, there's a little groove. So that goes into there. So I'm going to glue that down, and then we'll move on to the next piece, because I won't be able to do nothing else with this until it dries in. Right, so I'm leaving that to dry now. That is a pretty pain already, because I'm trying to put the spinal bit in, and the two side bits are coming off. So maybe I should have just glued that and left it dry, but the instructions are telling me to glue both pieces to the spine. So that's the first thing I would do, guys. If you're doing that, is glue the two hip bits together and leave them to dry, so they're solid when you're gluing the spine in. Wow, this is why I do these videos for you guys. So that's a pain in the ass for me, but you've seen that now, so you go, okay, I'll make it a bit easier now for myself. Now I need number 4 and number 5. Where are we? Number 5 has a little circle bit of base on it. Okay, so here we go. So there's the 3 that we've just taken out. There's number 5 with a bit of base on it, and there's number 4 in the corner. Yeah. So I'm going to clip these off, clean these down. Don't know if I should wait 20 minutes or so for that to dry, or if I should just start working away. I think it might be best for me to wait for it to dry. I think I can clean these down anyway. Hopefully I don't drop nothing else. Right, I just realised looking at the instructions, number 4, which is the bit coming down here, actually goes between the two hips at the front, and they're all pinched together. So I've had to put that on there now rather than wait for it to dry, and then hasn't got the pliability to go on. So now I have to leave that to dry. So I'll let you guys know that before I go to the next stage. The next stage is this leg, and then after that it's all manner of craziness. See you in a minute, guys. Right, as you can hear in the background, the rain is hammering down, unfortunately. So I've cleaned all this up now, as you can see. Yeah. So this one, as you can see on it, there's a little triangle bit in the leg section. There's a little triangle section in there. So it only goes one way, okay? Because I was looking at it thinking, do I glue it to the base first and then glue all the legs and then glue the body into it? I was getting a little bit worried, but fortunately they've made it very, very simple. I must have realised that it would be a pain in the backside, so let's make it as simple as possible. So I'm going to put this in, glue this in as you just see me put some glue in, and hold it together, and then I'll get on the next pieces. Right, so this next bit is a little bit more complicated because we need 10 and 11, which is fine, they're right there. We need number 9, yeah. We need number 8, which is this bad boy here, okay. And we need number 7 and number 6. There's number 7, and here is number 6, okay. So I'm going to click these pieces off. These are pretty straightforward because these go over the legs, but I think we do the rest of it first. So I'm going to clip these off, bits that I need, clean them down, and we'll come back when we're ready to put them together. Right, there's a few bits on here I need to tell you about. With these legs, there is some horrible mould lines on the front and the back. Yeah, so just be careful with them. This piece in particular, this is number 8. Okay, that point there, this point here where they join, is very, very weak and flimsy. So sanding sponge came in perfect there, because again there was mould lines on the front and on the inside there, so I was literally able to hold like that with a sanding sponge and just go over it nice and easy. So with those bits shown to you, Now we're going to start with these two. This is 6 and 7. Okay, you go, oh, how do they go together? I don't know. This little bit here, where are we? And this little bit here. Okay, is it this one? No, sorry, I'm imagining it wrong. No, it is that one. They're going like that. Underneath, there's 2 little slots. There's 2 little slots. Yeah, so it literally just goes. I'm just dry fitting it for you now, like that. Yeah. Now this interesting little V shape here is where this bad boy slides in. Is it like that? I'll figure out how it goes in, but it's something like that. Oh, there we go. Yeah, that's how that slides in. Now that's instantly going to be strong once I put glue to it. So I'm going to glue those 3 bits together. Okay, and I'll come back to you when I've done that. And just something quick here as well. Let me see, I'll put it all together. Yeah, sorry about the rain, it's hammering down. The moment I stop filming, it'll stop. Don't push down on the leg, because it is, we could have a point there, but what I've done is run a little bit of glue along the joint there, just to smother the joint and get rid of it, and also just to give it more strength. Now what I've done is put my finger under here and push down on this piece here, yeah, this bit, just to make sure it's tightly secured in place. Now I'm going to let it to dry, because that piece does go into the body itself, but again, because of that weak point, I'd rather have this, that's not dry but sort of almost, you know, gooey type thing, and this one, but I've got this one actually goes into here as well. So I'm actually put that in now actually. Yeah, I'm going to glue that in, dry fit that properly and figure out how that goes. I'd imagine, oh look, there we go, there's a little groove there, there's a groove there, I can see it above my finger, so I'm going to glue that in and I'll come back to you then. Right, so now what I'm going to do is attempt to glue this to the guy, so it goes in like that. Okay, again it's the same little bits in the groove. This is the front of the model, by the way, yeah, so they go in the back of the model. So I'm going to fill them with glue them together. But literally should go in only one way, like that. Okay, so I'm going to hold that to dry for a couple of minutes till it gets very tacky. One thing I love about plastic glue, you can mess around like that, but I'll come back to you in a sec. There's the only thing left to go on is these 2 bad boys, which go over the legs here. Okay, right, so these pieces then, as you can see, they're a distinct shape. This side dorsal fin has to go against the spine itself, and this little bit goes at the back of the model. Okay, but on the underside there's a little nook, and there's a little nook just there. See it sticking out from the spine? That's where that goes. So I'm going to glue them on. They look something like that when they go on. Okay, so I'm going to glue them on, and then I'll leave that for a couple of minutes to dry, and I'll be back to you. That rain's still coming down really heavy, so if you are having trouble listening to me or hearing my voice, I do apologise, guys. It's very fiddly. I was trying to put them in separately, but that's the best way to do it. Just put them together like this, okay, and then they should just sit on there. So hopefully I can get it this time. Right, I'm not going to lie to you, that was the fiddliest thing I've done so far on this model. Whew. The way that I just tried to do it, it worked out, but I had to use this to help guide me and to nudge it into place. It's right, it's correct, because I can see the arm port left, I can see, you know, sliding around because I'm going to take the leg out by accident. But it's very, very, very fiddly. Now there is a little nook here. Okay, the next piece that goes in is a spinal column, and there's a flat piece here. Let me zoom in so you can see. Okay, so there's a little nook in here, yeah. On the bottom of the spinal column there's a little pin that goes in there. The flat bit up here, sorry I've moved too far off the camera, the flat bit up here is where part of the spine goes into, and the 2 little tendril bits that go into the head, that's where the other bit of the spine goes into. Now here is the spine, number 12, yeah. So what we're going to do is I'm gonna snip that piece off, and then give that a clean down. Where are we? There we are. So give that a clip off, give that a clean down, and then I leave this for a couple of minutes to dry, and then give that a dry fit. I was actually, sorry, just knocked the camera. I was reading the instructions wrong there. I said a bit of spinal bit, there's a little nipple bit at the bottom of the ball. Okay, let me show you the instructions here, which is, there we are, that little bit there. I thought it went into the base of the carapace. No, it doesn't. The bottom of the ball, where are we? Slots into there. So the top of this wire then slots into there, side of the head. So that's what I've done. So that's, I just said that to you, and then I looked at it properly. I was like, oh, hold on. So that's the way it's supposed to go. Okay. So the ball, I can't zoom in anymore, and I don't want to pick it up because it's it's very fiddly so far. I'd rather wait for the glue to dry. I might even have to just stop filming for today because of the weather and because I want this to dry. But that goes, yeah, just underneath there. There's a little, you can't see it here. I'll show you when it's dry. I'll bring it down and show you properly. But I flipped the page and I can already see, look at this, yeah. So you glue these two pieces together, then these two pieces go into it, and that's what you're left with. So I'm actually gonna jump ahead and clip those pieces off and glue the two hand bits together, because I don't want to be, they look very fiddly. I don't want to be trying to glue them together when I get to that point. I'd rather have them already done. So let me just move Mr. Man out of the way. Right, so this number 21 and 22 is what we need, which is, sorry, I've zoomed right in, haven't I? Where am I? There I am. 21 and 22, yeah? So you can see where that's a flat base there, top corner. These two, okay? These two are what we need. So I'm going to clip them off, clean them down, and I'll come back to you. Again, this piece here has a dirty mould line, you see it? Along the forearm bit there. So I'm going to give that a gentle scrape down with the scraper and then get back into the sanding sponge. I'd say so far on this build, the sanding sponge has been my friend. As you can see, sorry, let me just, that's how it goes on. So this piece here, the top piece, just literally slides over the top there. By the looks of things, that needs to go in there a little bit more. Yeah. Now I'm gonna push that in. So I didn't put any glue in there, so I'll put a little bit of glue on there, push that in a little bit, and just hold that, and then maybe just run a bit of glue along that join line. Right, so the rest of the hand is actually these two, 23 and 24. The pieces we just took for the hand are these two. Okay, 21 and 22. So you can see how close they are to each other. So I'm going to snip these off, clean them down, and then have a look where we are. Right, so this piece, I've zoomed out again, guys, sorry. This piece here, now the piece I'm showing you is the tiny little piece in the middle. It's number 24. Okay, I'll show you on the thing. It's this piece right here. It literally sits on the side of the hand. Okay, and that's what you get. That's where it joins in. It's a little fun bit coming around. That's where it joins on, and that's what it gives you. Yeah. Now, this piece is a pain in the ass. I've dropped it once already, so I'm gonna leave that to dry for a minute, because this piece then clips around the whole hand, around the wrist part, I believe, which would be this part here. But there's the two little pointer stick along this part here. Okay. So I'm going to do a couple minutes to dry, and then I'm going to glue that piece on, because I believe this little piece in the middle there is where it goes on. Yeah. Again, there were some horrible casting lines. There's still a few there. Look, I'm going to give that a bit more of a sanding down. I was very nervous when I dropped the other piece, so I'm going to give this once over a sand again, sanding sponge, and then just glue that on. But just, well, that was very difficult. Anyway. So here's how this piece goes on. Okay, it's again a little bit fiddly, but now this is done, all I have to do is leave this dry, and as soon as it's dry I can glue it straight onto the body. It's an absolute pain in the backside. I learned this mistake. I learned this doing it this way from gluing the flayed ones together, because they're absolutely nightmare. So it's easy to glue bit by bit. But anyway, the next pieces I need are 13 and 14, which is the front calipace pieces, which are this piece here and this piece here. Okay, so I'm going to clip them off and clean them down as normal, but these pieces have the two little slots in for the arms to go into. Okay, right, so I've got 13 and 14 here, yeah, and these pieces are just weird pieces. I'll show them to you. Okay, but that is the front of his chest piece. Okay, I'll show you this. See on the front there, there's a little symbol there. They literally just clip around. They just literally clip. And there's some like that sort of thing. I just had it a minute ago. They just clip in there like that. Okay, literally just sit there. There's birds out there now. Okay, so I'm going to glue those bits on. Okay, and then I need to get his head and this little coil that goes on the side of him, but I'll get onto that in a second. Here we go. So it just goes on there like that, and it gives you two arm slots that side, two arm slots that side. So he's coming along pretty nicely. So now what we need is, there's number 15, which is a little coil. Locate it. Where are we? Tiniest little coil. I don't seem to see it anywhere. Okay, maybe. I know I need the head, which is this bad boy here. It's amazing head because he's got a little light. He was on the side there. That little light. I think, yeah, there's a little hole on the back of the head as well. That little light clips into the little bit on the side of the spinal crest that come up to the head. Alright, there's number 15, just right at the top there. So I'm going to clip that off and clip the head off, clean them down. Head's pretty straightforward. It just goes on the top there. The other bit goes on the side. I'll figure where that goes, but anyway, I'll snip those off, clean them down. Right, so this little piece goes in that little bit there at the bottom. It literally just goes in there like that. Obviously I have to hold it. Right, so then that's in. It sort of goes, let me show you actually. It goes like that. Okay, it comes from the side there to behind. It's a bit weird, I know, but it doesn't actually show you that on the instructions. It just says it goes in, yeah. But then if you look at this picture here, it actually comes around to back. So that's why I figured out how it went. Now, it's 19 and 20, which is this lovely weapon. And 19 is his little hand here. You see the end of the hand is all flat. That's because he has a hand on the weapon. It glues into that. So I'm going to clip those off and clean them down. Now I'd imagine, I'm going to look at this off the sprue, but I'd imagine there's going to be casting lines on the straight edges, but this bit I have to be very careful of. So Becky's sandy sponge was going to come in very handy on this one. Right, so I cleaned the spear down, yeah. Oh boy, this is the hardest part of it. Let me show you. So I cleaned the spear down, okay. It's very, not weak, but it does feel very, it could snap at any moment. Clean the arm down, no problem. But you've got to glue this bit into the hand, that's nice and easy. And then both arms glue into the body. And I tell you what, it's an absolute pain in the arse, that is. I would suggest cleaning the staff down and gluing this part, the yellow part there, into the staff first of all, and leaving it to dry, much like what we did with the hand. Okay, when we sub-assembled the hand, you probably want to do the staff first with the arm, because they only line up pretty much one way. But even the way I have it now, I'm not even going to pick it up, because it's, you know, I actually was thinking about going to super glue. That's how annoying it was to try and hold it. I think the staff bit is a little bit higher than it should be. I think it should just be that way a little bit more. I don't know. We'll see when it comes to it. You'll see on the picture here, it's not far from the ground, but mine is way over here. I don't know, maybe it might be okay, maybe it won't, I don't know. But anyway, I'm going to move on to the next pieces. We've got the hand already glued up. Now I did 17 and 18. Another little fiddly piece there to go onto themselves. So I'm going to, where are they on here? Let's have a look. Right, well, there's 18. Nice little fiddly piece. And 17 is on the other end of the sprue. So I'm going to clean them, take them off, clean them down. I'll come back to you then. Right, see how small and thin that is. Yeah, I wouldn't even try and clip that off. I would just clip it as close from the sprue as you can, and then just go for gluing it. Don't even try and clean that. Look how skinny and thin that is. There's no way. I just realised something. This side of the arm has to go in the back port. The other side goes in the front port, in the bottom one. That's the mistake I made, because this little arm here, this crazy little tiny thing, goes in the front there. So I just realised that, so I've just corrected that. Now it looks a lot more where it should be. But see, on the instructions, it never showed you that. It doesn't show you that. Where are we? No, wrong one. It doesn't show you that, it just shows you the side view. It doesn't show you, it should really show you this. And then, as it has a picture like here, it should have another little picture underneath to show you that this one goes, or even on the other side it goes in the back. But anyway, that's what I'm here for. Oops, sorry. Right, so whilst I'm waiting for those two bits to dry, yeah, I'm going to start putting sub-assembling the next pieces, which is 25, 26, 27, 28, which is this bad boy. Okay, the other one, this little leg, and where's the other one? There's this little leg here. So I'm going to clip them out. Now this one here has this little thing there, that's what that goes into. You can see that already. So I'm going to clip them out, clean them down, and I'll come back to you then. Right, it's pretty straightforward. There is, where are we? Come on, zoom in. There's a little big circle bit at the bottom there, at the top there, sorry. And it literally glues in. That's your little arm socket, I think. Yep, there we go. It literally goes in there like that. Nice and easy. So I'm going to leave it to dry. The other one the same. Yeah, there's a little circle bit. Seem to have hobby hands this morning. Bit of glue in there. Just in that bit there. Just knocking everything over. And this would literally glue in there like that. I'll leave them to dry. Yeah, now let's look at the base actually. Okay, so I've got all these pieces here, as you can see. I want them to dry, the hands dry, but I want to be able to, I think I have to glue that and this piece in together, because by the looks of it, this piece here sits inside to make it like a little swirl. So what I'm going to do now, whilst I'm waiting for them to dry, is I'm going to move on to, where are we? Sorting out this way on the base. Okay, because the leg goes into it and it all goes onto the base and, you know, all that sort of craziness. So I'm going to move on to sorting that guy out. And that's basically everything else that's left on the sprue. Okay, except with the exception of this piece, which we know it goes on the shoulder. So I'm going to start by clipping this base off. I don't think it's going to need to clean down. Maybe where it joins on, and getting the guy out and start putting them together. Right, this seems pretty straightforward. I've only cleaned the leg, the man, and the base part down. There is actually little knobble bits on the bottom of the man, yeah, and there is little knobble bits, there's little gaps on the actual base itself. So he does just slot into there, like that. Nice and easy, yeah. Then the leg actually slides just in there like that, yeah. So I'm going to glue that now. Literally goes in there. I might have to go off camera to hold this thing because it's a 50 piece. Right, so the man's together is pretty straightforward, but you have to use a sanding sponge. You won't be able to clean them with clippers or anything like that, or scraper. The leg's pretty straightforward because it's just one solid piece. But you still have to be careful at this point where his bottom of his claw hits the body. But this bit coming up here, the energy transference from the body, from the corpse itself, I literally got the sanding sponge and went over as gently as I could, because it is a very weak, it feels very weak in your hand. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to glue this arm and this hand in. They're going to be very fiddly. I'm going to start with this hand in this side and then glue this one onto it. We're almost there. This is an absolute nightmare, but we're almost there. Right, so it is very fiddly. As you can see, the arm with the arm on this side goes in the back there, and this one goes in the front, and it is very fiddly. They should probably, I don't know if you should have put them on first. I don't know, it's very difficult because you're going to be fiddling around. Even if you put the front ones in first, you still be fiddling around with the back ones. It's difficult. But anyway, leave it to dry. Once that's drying, I'm going to take the last piece off. Now this piece goes into, is it this one? No, it's goes into this one, and it goes in the top there. Okay, so I'm going to take this piece off. There's the last piece on the sprue. I'm going to take it off, clean it up. Right, so I've glued the shoulder pads on. Oh, there. Wow, this is a very difficult model, guys. Very, very difficult. Oh, there's a lot of sub-assembly needs to be done. As you see me do a few bits here and there, like this guy here, for example. That's the best way to do that, and the hand, and you know, the shoulder pads with the little claw bits in them. But that's very difficult. Especially the staff, that was difficult, and the two little hands with the energy transference, because this arm keeps sliding down and it's come up. But yeah, that's difficult. I'll leave this to dry for a minute and then move on to the next bit. Wow. This is very difficult. Still haven't got that quite right there, the tube. I have to fiddle with that a little bit off camera. This energy transference coming up from the body, when I put it to the base, it was up here somewhere. I thought, what the hell's going on? And I realised, because it's so thin and flexible, you have to literally glue the end and just hold it into place until it's glued to the little transference in his hand. I'm going to sort this little bit out off camera, the little tube. You see it by my nail there, it's just not quite lined up properly. But this one is a very difficult kit. I would rate this one as a 10. Which is absolutely crazy, because the first 9 that I ever done that I have ever done, so I say, was the flayed ones, and they were very difficult, very fiddly. Now this one is fiddly in the respect of there's so many small parts that that go together, and then there's bigger parts that go into smaller gaps, and it is very fiddly. The staff, this thing, as you can see, the little wire back of him, the two little hands with the energy transference. The last leg is actually very tricky to get in because you have to pivot him at sort of an angle, because he's sort of leaning forward at this sort of angle. It's a bit weird. Yeah, this is a 10. Very difficult. But there's two things I'm happy with. Three things I'm happy with. One, is an amazing model. It's an absolutely amazing sculpt. I'll bring you down and show you some pretty pictures in a second. Two, he's done. And most importantly, three, you only have his named character, so you only have one of them in your army. So now that he's done, I don't have to do him again. But things like the hex mark destroyers, I'm starting to look at them and think, oh, they're going to probably be as difficult as this guy. But anyway, guys, if you enjoyed this video, if it's helped you in any way, please like, share, subscribe, turn on your notifications, and I'll bring you down to show you some close-up pretty pictures of this amazing miniature. Till next time, guys, take it easy.